Set in Philadelphia, follow Camille Ebony as she discovers the woman she was meant to be in the blink of an eye, seemingly when her marriage, career, and life are rearranged, when a cold stranger enters the midst. She realizes for the first time in her life that she is able to throw caution to the wind and just be herself without any label or duties attached. All things must come to an end, though, and once again Camille finds herself taking on the requirements now of wife and mother. But when she is called upon to do one more favor, the journey to the heart of the matter continues, and she comes face to face with the realities of the girl she once was, the person she has wanted to be, and the woman she is. On the road to self-discovery, Camille soon realizes there must be some casualties.
In the name of our ancestors, peace forever and always, and welcome to another edition of what I call Reality's Temple on Earth Internet Ministry. I am the gatekeeper or the host of this program. Wherever you may find me, I am known as the mighty angel snubbing up 7. I am your soul brother, number 1. All right. Tonight, we have a special guest, host, lecturer, and I am going to say a few words before we bring him on, and I introduce you to him formally. You have probably seen him on certain events like Soul Liberation Day. That's probably the first time you ever seen this brother, and he's going to come before us tonight and talk with us. And I hope that you enjoy or can at least understand where our brother is coming from. I would like to open this broadcast with just a short, brief talk about what many of us call Black unity. Prior to coming on the air, I was on Facebook going back and forth with some brothers, some of them strangers, and one brother I've known since 2007, I think, even before I started making videos. Hey, how you doing there, Brother Twin? Twin is always here with us. Twin, thank you for joining us, Twin. Yeah, I've known this brother before I even came to YouTube, because I came to YouTube in 2007, but I had a little blog. I think I did the blog in 2000. It had to be 2006, early 2006, and I've known this brother since that time, way before YouTube videos, and he's still blackity black, you know, all that type of thing. And I want to make something perfectly clear. I have never, and if YouTube had kept our old channels up the way they was, I never made a claim or said I was pro-black, pro-African, none of that stuff. I never said that. I always said I'm a pro-humanity channel. However, my top priority is the people I come from, because we need the most help, and I come from this people. I never said and was tripping on blackity black. I never made videos bragging about my skin color. I never made videos talking about how great melanin was. None of that type of thing. I never been blackity black. I never said that the black man was God. I never said that the black woman was God and we kings and queens. I never said those things. The only thing I ever done was seek freedom, justice, and equality to an oppressed people. I'm not tripping on skin color. Skin color is irrelevant. It was skin color that put us in the condition that we're in because of our skin color. Why would I want to continue to bathe and promote in something that put you in jail to begin with, that caused this problem? Black, African, Negro, African, all these are labels and identities created by the Peckerwood. You want to call somebody a coon and an Uncle Tom and stuff, all those words, all that come from the white man. All of it do. You too stupid to come up with your own words of degradation and mockery. Right? But you a king and a queen and a goddess and all this stuff, and you want to call somebody names, and you have to use the words that you got from your massa because y'all one and the same. Now, this is not everybody. I'm cool with many brothers and sisters who are pro-black and pan-African because we have an understanding. And just you have the right to feel and think how you believe. I also have that right. Respect mine like I respect yours. However, nothing is above me as a person, or no ideology or belief is above scrutiny. You can talk about my Mississippi campaign all that you want to. You can talk about me. Now, the thing about talking about me, you really don't know me. You hear some things that come from my mouth. You only know what I want you to know, what I let you know. You don't know nothing about me like that. And you look stupid trying to talk like you do know me. You don't know nothing about me like that. So you're going to fail trying to debunk, refute, or whatever you want to call it, the Mississippi campaign, and you're going to fail trying to degrade and make mockery of me because you don't know both of them. You don't comprehend the Mississippi campaign, and you don't know nothing about me. So you fail. I would be happy to invite any of you on this forum, this platform, since you know me, and debate that. I know me, and bring your evidence and your proof. You only know what I want you to know. And you only say what you think you know or assume. You don't know me. And you can't comprehend what the Mississippi campaign is about, because you're not on that level. You're on the level of sweeping floors, cleaning toilets, while I'm on the level of building buildings and cities. Only thing you know how to do is clean them. I build them. That's where I'm at. But my elder is here tonight to talk to us because I am interested in our unity. We have more similar in common than we do in difference. You spend too much time tripping on what you don't like, what you disagree with. I don't. I concentrate on those things I can embrace from somebody. You can't tell me out of all the videos and everything that I say, you disagree with everything I say. It's impossible. I don't even play that game. There are things that Tariq Nasheed said that I can agree with. There are things that Yvette Cornell say I agree with. Minister Farrakhan, and the list goes on. And I embrace those things. I don't concentrate on the things that I disagree with because really they don't mean nothing. Because as long as you're living with your slave master and his children, that stuff don't mean nothing anyway. It really don't. Because you're a feral Negro slave. Nobody don't care who you think you are or what you're doing. You're just a slave running around. I used to call us backyard Negroes. You know how they let, your dog at the house, a house dog, the house Negro thing that Malcolm used to say all the time. You know how a dog act when you let him out the back door into the big backyard and he get to running and flipping around. Mr. Puppy, you still locked up. You ain't free. You just got a larger area so that you can run. You still a house dog. And the dog don't even want to be out there that long. The dog just want to go out there, poop a little bit and run right back into the main house. That's how we are. That's the mentality that we have in this country. I'm the only one on YouTube, on this forum. I'm the only one that have shown interest in what we call Black unity. I invite this brother tonight. We've had our conversations. We don't necessarily have to agree, but he's here. And if you go through some of my channels, maybe even this one, you will see I have mirrored videos from Brother Polite, Young Pharaoh, Minister Farrakhan, and the list goes on and on. I promote us. They won't promote me, but I promote us because I really want unity. And I can compromise and I can work with anybody. Hell, I was locked up with supposed to be crazy folks. I worked with them. Now, these supposed to be insane folks, and they told me it's impossible to get them together. Well, I done it. I told them we're going to boycott the so-called rehabilitation in this place until we get what we want. So that morning, we had talked that night what we're going to do, and they came in and thought it was going to be an ordinary day, and it was not an ordinary day for them. Everybody refused, and they said, talk to, well, I wasn't Taalik at the time, but talk to me. I'm the mouthpiece. Talk to me. They was like looking at they couldn't believe it. And of course, they thought everybody was going to be scared. Everybody go to your classes, go, do what you, and everybody refused. Which I said to them, what you going to do? We already locked up. What you going to do to us? Beat us? You're not going to do that. You can't deny us breakfast, lunch, and dinner. What you going to do to us? We're already locked up. Now, there are some things that we want that you should be giving us according to your own policy. These demons wasn't even following their own policy. You don't give us what you said that you're supposed to give us. They gave up. It didn't take long for them to give up to our demands, because all the other workers, if we don't go to these so-called rehabilitation programs, they're not going to let these staff stay on the job. They're going to have to go home. So they negotiated with me. I was backed up by my people. And it was white folks there. It was a Chinese guy and other people, whatever, male and female. But we decided to stick together, and we got what we wanted. And guess what? About a week later, they transferred me out of the place. And then when I came back, it was right back to the way they wanted it. Woo, see, that's why they assassinate our leaders. See, because they knew I was the one. So they got rid of me, and everything went back to normal. So if I kill Malcolm X, if I kill Dr. King, if I kill these leaders, they know once you kill the head, the body will fall. That's what I fear, and that's what I don't want in building the Mississippi campaign. It shouldn't make no difference whether I'm there or not. You know what to do. You're a leader unto yourself. Take care of business. I might betray you. I might mess around, and a pretty white woman might show up, and I'm like, wow, they offered me a couple of $100 million. I'm like, okay, forget that Mississippi campaign thing. You should call me a traitor and set up a posse to blow my brains out and keep rolling. That's what you need to do. But it's about unity. Arguing and debating back and forth, calling people names over ideologies, and we still in the same hole together. And I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna bring our brother on. There was a movie. What was the Defiant Ones? I think that was the name of the movie. It was a prison movie about a soul brother and a white guy, and there was some kind of big riot or whatever, and they had the opportunity to escape prison. Problem is, they was twins said, leave them white women alone. Hey, they had an opportunity to escape prison, but the only way they could, the problem they had was they were shackled together. And the brother didn't like the white guy, and the white guy didn't like the brother. But if they want to escape prison, while they had the opportunity, they had to work together to get out of there. So as the movie continues, they don't like each other. They're going, trying to find a way to get out of these shackles. I don't like you, and you don't like me, I don't like you. All this attitude. But in the end, now look, this is what happened in the end. While they were shackled, struggling together in the same situation, working together, they didn't have time. They was on the run. They didn't have time to debate, are you a Christian? Are you a Muslim? Are you this? Are you that? They didn't have time for it. They was on the run, shackled together. They trying to get loose. They trying to get free. See, we got too much time on our hands. Because if we didn't have this kind of time, I don't have time to be arguing and debating with you over, are you Kemetic? Are you Hebrew Israelite? Are you this? Got too much time on your hand. Those men didn't have time like that. They on the run. They trying to get free. They serious about theirs. Now, in the end, once they got free, the ironic thing about the whole situation was they liked each other in the end. They learned about each other during that struggle. See, if instead of arguing and debating, if we really was working on getting these damn shackles off our ankles, once we finally get those shackles off, all that debating and arguing, at the end of the struggle, you say, man, you ain't as bad as I thought you were. Brother, because we struggling and we really working to solve this problem. But you have those who are perpetrating the fraud. They're not real about theirs. Because if you're real about yours and I know the only way I can get free, I'm depending on you. I got to work with you, just like these two men. I got to work with you. And at the end, the story didn't even have to end like that. The story could have ended, well, the brother go his way, the white guy go his way. And so you don't have to like me, you don't have to love me. Once we get these shackles off of us, you can go your way, you can go north and I can go south or whatever. But I guarantee you, in the struggle, in the work, in the fight, I depend on you to live. You depend on me to live. It's going to create a brotherhood. That's why a lot of people in the military, especially when they've been at war, they don't care if you're homosexual. They don't care if you're black, white, Korean. When you are in the trenches and you got bullets going back and forth, that's the man that got my back. And usually they have a different attitude coming up out of the trenches than they did when they went in. Because that man is the reason why I'm alive. And maybe that man is the reason why I'm alive. He saved my life. And he probably died on the battlefield protecting me, saving me. We all we got out there. See, we all we got out here. Once you begin to understand that, then you know you need to get rid of it. I know it's tempting. Y'all like to argue and debate and everybody is right. But we are in a life and death situation and we are at war. And if we want to win, we're going to have to change our attitude and the way we look at things. It's simple as that. If we don't unify, we're done. It's just simple as that. Because I can't do it by myself. You can't do it by yourself. It's not going to happen. We don't have enough power in individuals, and we don't have no power in individual groups. It's not going to work. It's not going to happen. We have to find a way, like I always say, go in a room. And y'all don't come out the room, order you some vegan food or whatever you need, a movie or whatever. Stay in that room till y'all get yourself together, solve your problem. When you come out, you are unified. One plan, one goal, one purpose, one vision. Win or lose, one direction. That's where we go. And go for it. That's the way you have to be. Until you have that mindset, we're not going to be able to go nowhere. Twin said, no unification, no liberation. They go hand in hand. It's not going to happen. I don't care how beautiful you think your plan is or what you're doing. It's never going to happen. And right now, we're moving too slow. And the reason why we're moving slow is because we're not unified. We have to pick up the pace. We're not even on the level where they was at during the 1960s. We're not even on that level. We're moving like the tortoise, real slow, when we should be moving like rabbits. If we don't have unification is the fuel to get this job done. There was a song by Big Daddy Kane not too long ago, rap song, I get the job done. Let's get the job done. Let's unify. Stop tripping on our differences. I was watching Brother Maurice live stream last night. And we tripping on our differences and what I don't like or whatever. So that's more important than your liberation. That's more important than making toilet paper so that you can wipe your own backside. That's more important than creating your own electricity and your own gas and building your own houses, controlling and making your own laws and doing your own thing. That's more important, arguing and debating with somebody, than the creation of a reality that you claim that you want that's just your imagination for the time being, instead of you actually being active to make it a reality. We here, this is the reality step on earth. I'm not interested in your dreams and your fantasy and woulda, shoulda, coulda. I don't care about that stuff. Look what they did in Egypt. I don't care about what they did 30 years ago, 5,000. I'm thinking about the now. What can I do with my brain, with my hands? What can I accomplish? Once you start accomplishing something and seeing something viable and substance, I guarantee you'll change your mind. The reason why you arguing and debating and going back and forth, because you're not producing nothing that you can be proud of and talk about, because once you get a taste, you want to keep doing it. You build one house, I want 2 houses, 3, 4, you want to keep doing the do. So on that note, I'm going to open the floor to our guest speaker tonight, which is Brother Dr. Omar. How you said Shamshi-Deen?
Right.
Okay, yeah. I'm going to open up the floor to him. I have nothing else to say. Ladies and gentlemen, if you could applaud, let's bring him on with a well round of applause. You know that's how we used to do in the mosque. Bring him on with a well round of applause. Dr. Omar, bring him on. The floor is yours, brother.
Thank you so much. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. I'm appreciative that you allow me to come and share a few things with your audience. I would like to start off by saying Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
You know, what I chose that particular greetings because of the meaning of it. And I think that the meaning of that particular greetings might point us in a direction to learn to better deal with one another. Assalamu alaikum. That means what common people say is that it means peace be unto you, and unto you be peace. In studying a little bit the Arabic language, I discovered that it means more than peace be unto you. The attribute as-salam is an attribute of what the Muslims call Allah, what the Christians call God, etc., etc., etc. So when we say Assalamu alaikum, we are saying, may God's peace be unto you. Now, the reason I make that distinction is because God's peace can touch each and every last one of us. But what may be peace to me as an individual might not necessarily be peace to you. So I'm saying to you that I don't wish Omar Shamshi-Deen's peace unto you. I wish that which is bigger than Omar. I wish that which is called Allah. You know, and that's why I chose that particular greetings. You know, I know plenty of other greetings, but of all the greetings that I have heard, that greeting is a greeting that would make me respect your opinion, respect your advice. Not necessarily that I'm going to follow it, but I respect your right to have it. You know, so that falls right in line, Brother Taalik, with what you're saying, is that one of the interesting situations or problems that we have is we don't respect one another. We don't respect that everyone has something of value to offer us, even if it's nothing but showing us what not to do. You know, it brings to my mind a story. I think I mentioned it to Brother Taalik in the past, about the three blind men, and there was a man that was able to see. So what he did was he took those three blind men to an elephant, and he inquired of them to describe an elephant for him. Now, he took one of the blind men's hands and he put it on the elephant's trunk, the snort. The other blind man, he put his hands on the elephant's ear. And the other blind man, he grabbed a hold to the elephant's leg. The man that grabbed the blind man, mind you, they're all blind. The blind man that grabbed the hold to the elephant's snort, his description of an elephant is that an elephant is like a giant vine. The man that grabbed a hold to the elephant's ear, his description of an elephant is that an elephant is like a giant leaf. The man that grabbed a hold to the elephant's leg, his description of an elephant is that an elephant is like a giant tree trunk. Now, they all, in fact, was describing the part of the elephant that they had. They wasn't describing the whole elephant. And I do believe that if we, as people, as individuals, would recognize that we only have a part of it, none of us are adept enough to know everything. It brings to my mind a verse in the Muslim text, the Holy Quran. It stated that if all of the seas were ink, and if all of the trees were pens, you could not exhaust the wisdom of God. Okay, now what is that saying? When I say God, am I talking about some entity that came into being during the life of Muhammad of Arabia? Of course not, because the name Allah was a mysterious name even before Muhammad, and it's talking about that is bigger than all of us. You know, I mean, a person could take a look and say, "Hey, look, man, creation is bigger than all of us." You know, I recall going down into national parks and would take just walk amongst the trees, and these trees were so high. It humbled me. You know, the fact I said, "Wow, man, this planet that we live on is something else."
Mm.
Not only that, I go down to the ocean and just look out at the vastness of the ocean. Much, much, much bigger than we are as individuals. And once we understand that life is bigger than we see it as, we sit around and we condemn this person, we condemn that person, we condemn this people, that people, not realizing we don't got the whole picture.
Mm-hmm.
We don't got it. We only see a little bit of the picture. And once we recognize that, then we can begin to respect each other. We can respect what each other have to offer. It's something I came up with myself. Is I say that every man that I meet is superior to me in one way or another. That means that I can learn from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I can learn from a bum. I can learn from a scientist. I can learn from a doctor. I can learn from a poor person. Because everyone has something that I don't have. They see something that I don't see. What can you learn from a bum, Omar? Shamshi-Deen? What I learned from a bum, maybe it's what not to do. He is still teaching. He may not have what we deem as divine knowledge, but I suggest that he do have divine knowledge. If we just have the wisdom to see it. My little talk this evening is on the specialness of Black people here in America, the so-called Negroes.
Mm-hmm.
I have for over 50 years observed what I consider some of the most prominent men and women from our midst and look into what is it they represent including myself. And what I saw is that most of us, our focus has mostly been on what has happened or what hardships was inflicted upon us from others, and some say what we have done to ourselves. Most of their observation was, for the most part, spot on. In other words, they had a hope to the ear. They had a hope to the snout. They had a hope to the leg, but they wasn't seeing the whole picture, because we are all blind in one sense or another, because blindness also connotates ignorance. So we are all ignorant of something. So their observation was on the spot. So yes, the fact of the matter is, we were brought here and taken from our previous existence in the continent that they now call Africa. That's not the name that those people call themselves. Brother Taalik mentioned earlier that these are names that was given by conquerors. The white man did the same thing over there in every country that he went to that he did to us here. Named what he conquered. Leo, Africanus, and Zepio, Africanus. These was conquerors that conquered that land, and they named the country after them, the continent after them, Africa. The name Africanus. Look it up. So we were brought over here and deposited into a hostile environment and subjected to unthinkable hardships and struggles. So when we think about it, every human life, before it is born, goes through struggle. Everybody, everyone goes through struggle. It is important that we understand here that our chance, talking about black people here in America, our chance to come into this life was 1 in trillions. You had to endure the toils and struggles in the womb or the vaginal tract of your mother. You had to fight and race with all of the other sperm, those trillions of sperm. You had to struggle and race with them in order to impregnate the egg. But guess what? Every other human being had to endure the same thing. So you know why I'm telling you, I'm here tonight to say to you that you are victorious. I'm talking about you, black man, and you, black woman. You are victorious. Why is it? Because you made it. Of all of those trillions of sperms that was injected into the womb of that vaginal tract, of that woman, of that female, your mother, you made it. And you know why you made it? You made it because you never stopped to complain of how hard it was. For to stop and complain would have meant defeat. It would have meant your imminent death. So you fought and you swam. And the mere fact that you made it means that you black people, you black man, you black woman, You are equipped to run this race of life. My message to you is this: there is nothing you are or can be faced with in life that you can't conquer, because you have already fought the fight in the womb, and you earned this life because you won the battle of the womb. Black man and woman, you are champions already. The mere fact that you are here, you're champions. All you have to do is stop listening to people who tell you you're losers. We have been told that we are losers for so long that we have just embraced it. These people that tell you this, we have to see it this way. It is a good way to see it. That these people are the sperms in the womb that you were racing with, going for the egg to impregnate it. Don't stop and complain. But if you do, you lose and will die in that vaginal tract. That is the lie that we've been told. That that we are involved in here in this country. I'm talking particular about African Americans, Negroes, Black people here in this country now. We have been told that when you look at the term, and this is something that we all have to think about, when you look at the term race, most of us, I'm talking about Black people, we think in terms of color, as opposed to the actual meaning of race. And that is that we have to run a race, an actual race. Every other people that come here to America, the white people that are here, they know and understand that they are in a race for capital, a race for land. But we are focusing on race as a color. And another thing we have to realize about a race is that you don't have no friends in a race. When you get out there on that starting line and you get set to go, all friendship ends. You are there to run and you are there to win. You can't stop in the middle of things and say, "Oh man, look like so and so is tired, so I'm gonna help him." No, run the race, win the race. That's what this thing called capitalism is all about. And whether we realize it or not, we live in a capitalistic society. When you get to the finish line, then you can get together with people and hug them and tell them how great they are. "Oh man, you ran a good close race." No, do that stuff at the end. Run the race and run the race to win. It reminds me of a joke that I learned when I was a young man in the Black community. I don't know, a lot of you brothers are kind of young, so you may not have heard it. Maybe you did. There was a joke about shine. It was stated that in this joke that there were three people on a boat, and that the white man, a Jewish man, and a Black man. He said that the boat had stopped on them in the water, so they had to find a way to get back to shore. He said that the white man jumped off and started swimming to shore. The shark went over and caught him. The Jewish man He jumped off and he went and he started swimming. And he was doing pretty good. He did a little bit better than the white man did, but the shark eventually caught him and he was done for. He said, then the black man, whose name was Shine, he said, Shine jumped in the water and Shine started stroking. And that shark was on Shine's tail, but he couldn't catch Shine. So the shark said to Shine, he said, Shine, Shine, you're stroking fine. But if you miss one stroke, your black ass is mine. Your opponents have gotten you to stop swimming, not to miss a stroke. They have gotten us to stop swimming altogether. I'm here to tell you that none of the other races, so-called races in this country, can outrun you. All you have to do, black man and woman, is get into the race and don't be sidetracked by anything or anyone. And the race is yours. Don't worry. They are already tired. They've been running this thing for a while. We just been sitting back on the sideline. You got this. The white man, the Hispanics, the Indians, the Islanders, the Africans, all of them are relying on you not to get into the race. And by not racing, you become the prey. There are two types of, I would say, ideologies in this country, in this society. There are two factors, and that is you are either a consumer or you are the consumed. Up until now, black people have been consumed. We go out and we just buy up everything, We're not producing anything. We just buy and buy and buy. That is the reality of capitalism, my dear people. That is called Economics 101. You're either the consumed or you're the consumer. We, up until this point, have not been acting in our best interest. Now, there is a better system than capitalism, but we're not there yet. The other thing that I want to share is that capitalism is a game. It is a game, but it's a game that is best played team-wise, as a team. Everybody else is coming together and we are out there trying to do our thing individually. You can't win because the team is constantly consuming. So we go out there, we'll get money like our beloved brother Bill Cosby. We'll get money like the rest of the highly paid athletes, Mr. Bob Johnson, get Barry Gordy. They all did their thing individually, but eventually the capitalistic system overshadowed them because they saw that, hey, we were making it as individuals, but our individual wealth could not compare to what they had built systemically. Capitalism is a sport. There are rules. And if you don't play by the rules, you will lose. It doesn't matter how good you are as an individual. Individuals eventually get consumed. So you want to know why it is that we haven't made it as a people, is because we took the individual route.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody else is playing a team sport.
Right.
And you have our crazy behind. Oh boy, I don't want to talk negative about our people, but you have our leaders. And what I mean by leaders, I ain't just talking about somebody that's in politics. I'm talking about somebody that are teachers, that are lawyers, that are doctors. They are leaders,
Mm-hmm.
whether they want to be or know it or not. There are 30 million people looking at them. And we have to realize that if we are going to win in this capitalistic society, we got to play the game by the rules. I don't care how good of a football player you are. If you get on a basketball court playing football rules, you lose.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the thing that we have to realize, is that we have to first of all learn the rules of the game, become proficient at the game, but know that we've got to have a team. No matter how good Michael Jordan were, it wasn't until he started playing teamwork with the rest of the Bulls that they became a force to be reckoned with.
Mm-hmm.
So if I do nothing else tonight, you mentioned it earlier, Brother Taalik, we've got to come together. Because if we don't come together, we might as well just go ahead and lay down somewhere.
That's right. No doubt.
We may as well lay down. And I'm telling you something, no matter what you think, individual success means nothing in this society.
Right.
Because most of us, we only make so much that we eventually will lose it all anyway. Most of our wealthy people died broke. Our comedians. I mean, even right now, I mean, I have lots of respect for Miss Oprah Winfrey. But she sold her interest in the Discovery Channel.
Mm-hmm.
Because she tried to do it alone.
Right.
She should have got together with other wealthy blacks and turned them onto it. Why get something and send it back to white folks? We can never accumulate wealth as a people thinking as individuals. I mean, I would love to say, but I'm telling you that is not according to the rules of capitalism. Because years ago they played that individual game. Now they all unite. I think it was Ronald Reagan back in the 80s. He broke up the monopoly that A&T had on the telephone industry. And in doing so, he changed the whole course of that game.
Mm-hmm.
It's important to know that we have to stop talking about black. I'm talking about black people, African Americans, Moors, Hebrews, Muslims, Christians, whatever the case may be. We gotta stop looking for saviors. for someone to come save us. Not gonna happen. We have got to get in the game and save ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Don't worry about it. I'm telling you, if we get into the game, we will win. There is nothing that can stop us, because we won in the struggle in the womb. Now you would say, brother Omar, every human being on this earth have come through the womb. And I'll say, yes, they have. But here's the important thing for us to know. And this is extremely important, Black people. None of those other societies have successfully come through the womb of society. None of them. They all gave up in the societal womb. The whites that came here from Europe, from England, from Britain, they flee their society. The Hispanics that come here, they flee their country. The Indians that come here, they flee their country. The Africans, they flee their country to come here.
Mm-hmm.
The islanders, we love them so much, but they flew away from the island. They got out of there to come here. They gave up. They didn't come out naturally in the womb of their society. We Blacks, Negroes, indigenous ex-slaves, the new term they have a term out now, ADOS.
Mm-hmm.
We never flew. We stuck it out here. We struggled, we fought, and we got the chance to impregnate the egg in the American society. And we are victorious over all of the treacherous activity in the vaginal womb, in the vaginal tract of the womb of the female. We have endured all of the hardship, all of the struggle in the womb of America. America is a womb. When we talk about it, don't we say her? We don't say his America, him. We say America, her, because it is a womb. Every society is a womb. And know, dear people, that we can stand up to the world as a shining example that we conquered the society of America. We are amongst the most educated people in this country when it comes to education. Well, I'm talking about education that they talk about in the school systems. We conquered that. We right now, indigenous ex-slave African Americans, we spend over $1 trillion a year. That $1 trillion is 1/3 of what the whole continent of Africa has. 1/3. So we haven't failed economically. We just got out of the race. what I'm doing is I'm trying to show us our strength. I'm trying to impart upon us that we are that we are more than just ex-slaves. Every people that come to America, every last one of them, they come to us. Well, you know they want to come to us because they want to make money off us. Yes, that is true. That is true. But they also come to you and they learn. I remember in the city that I was living in up in Jersey, there was a Chinese restaurant. The Chinese restaurant hired this brother, a black man, to work for them. And he went in there and he brought to their business, you know, he was cooking macaroni and cheese and pies and all of that type of stuff. You know what those Chinese did? They stood around him and watched him. And they learned what he was doing. When they got his recipe, because he brought a lot of business to them, they fired him. Because we have more to offer than we think we do. We've been sold an idea that, hey, look at that black people, we ain't nothing. Hey, what was the thing? A nigger ain't nothing and never will be nothing.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact of the matter is that everyone is watching us. The Koreans, the Spanish, they are all watching us. They are mining our gold. They are mining our diamonds. Because we don't recognize our value. We have accepted the idea that they are better than us, when in fact, they are learning from you. They are observing you. And they are stealing from you.
Mm.
I think back in the 60s and the 70s, all of those white guys over in Europe, in England, they were studying black music. Talk to the Rolling Stones, talk to Mick Jagger and all those boys. They'll tell you we studied blacks.
Mm-hmm.
And honed in on that energy, that wonderfulness that was in us.
Mm.
Otis Redding sang Sitting on the Dock of Bay. Ain't got paid no money hardly. but Simply Red did.
Mm.
Elvis Presley studied black people.
Mm-hmm.
Colonel Sanders studied black people. We just not in the race, brothers.
Right.
Sisters. How many black people have made major inventions and the white people got credit for it? I'm talking about the specialness of you.
Yes.
And I'm not pointing you to Africa.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not pointing you to anywhere but here. But I'm not pointing you to our slavery. Yes, we went through it, but that was the wound.
Mm-hmm.
We conquered it. But don't take anything I'm saying, because I'm not saying we're not due reparation. They owe us. But I am saying this: we should not sit back and wait for it, because what will happen is that you would die off. Right now, black people are saying, "Well, I ain't had nothing to do with slavery." That's the next generation. What's going to happen when their children come up? We have to stand up as a people in our victory. Because we are, whether we know it or not, we are a shining example to the world. Because all of them gave up, man. None of them fought the womb of the society that they lived in. And even when they came here, they ain't built a damn thing. We built it.
Right.
But they sell us on the idea that we are nothing. I was talking to my beloved brother last night, and I said to him that we have to realize, as a matter of fact, it really slipped my mind. It'll come back. It's like the sun rises and it sets, right? It'll come back. We have to realize that we owe a debt. Black people, you and me, we owe a debt. What debt is it that we owe? We owe a debt to every one of our ancestors that came before us. Because had not they been in the womb fighting, we couldn't have won. All of those sperms that died in the vaginal tract, they were there as an aid to us to make us stronger and to be able to overcome the adversities that we are confronted with in society. They are our comrades. They are our ancestors. They are our mentors. And we are here to receive the rewards that our fathers and ancestors didn't get. We can't fall asleep. This is our greatness that others have been stealing. And they steal it because we are unaware. What has happened? Let me share something with you. Don't you know that if you are out in the woods, out in the woods, and there are bears out there, and that bear is coming to you, your instinct jumps into fight or flight. While you are in the fight and flight mode, know that there's nothing cognitive going on. All of that falls asleep because it has to get you away from danger. Don't let people frighten you, tell you, look, man, pardon my expression, but fuck what the militias are doing. Oh man, they're gonna do, man, forget them guys. I worked with them years ago, 20 years ago. I worked with them. I taught them. They taught me too. It's a point in my life where I was riding around and I have read the Constitution and I'm saying, who are you to tell me I got to have a driver's license? And I fought white America on that. Took them to court and won. Why did I win? I had the help of my patriot friends. I'm saying this is to say to you this, is that you don't have to be afraid of the militia people. They have one aim in mind, and that is to take back their government. Because the fact of the matter is their government have been hijacked.
Yes.
That's a fact. Now, once they get the government back, then you worry about them. They are racist. but right now, you're not even an issue. You're not an issue to them. You don't have what they want. They have studied the Constitution, and they believe that their country has been taken by big businesses and others.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a fact. But I'm saying, look, hey, look, man, I have no trouble. Hey, look, if you guys want to go down there and you want to take your ain't my goddamn capital. I'm not benefiting from really what's going on in Washington, D.C.
Mm-hmm.
Them guys wanted, it took them 40 years to bring up the idea of reparation. The representative from New York, Mr. Conyers, he brought that up years ago. They wouldn't even bring it to the floor.
Nope.
I'm worried about them getting hurt. Kill them crackers. I don't care. But I'm not blind to the fact when I worked with the Patriots, I knew for a fact that they were racist. I knew how they felt about blacks. I knew how they felt about Jews. That's another issue. One day I'll talk about them.
Mm-hmm.
But they had something I wanted. I wanted to get their cracker brother off my back. And they didn't just tell me, go here. No, they wrote my paperwork for me that I can take into the court. And they didn't stop there. They came to court with me. I'm telling you, don't worry about those guys. Why do I say these things? It's because any time that they can get you in the fight or flight mode, your consciousness, your intellect goes to sleep. Hell, we're sleeping already because they've been having us scared all along. So therefore, we never think. Well, man, I'm woke. God bless you. You're woke. There was another saying in the time of Muhammad of Arabia. He said, the best of you is not the ones that are most woke. The best of you who is more useful to your society. We have our brothers and sisters. We're going out there and we're studying. We can rap off everything about Africa. We can tell you about Timbuktu. We can tell you about Mali. We can tell you about the great kings and everything over there. We can tell you all of that. We can tell you how great Frederick Douglass were. We can tell you how great W.E. Du Bois were. But what are we doing today?
Right.
How useful is that knowledge? Oh man, we gotta know our history. Yes, you do. But I'm gonna tell you something. You old ass black people need to be out doing some goddamn work. Give that history to your children. They're the ones that don't know about it. They don't know about slavery. But don't just give them that knowledge. Give them that knowledge, but also look at them, study them, observe them, and find out where is their interest. What is it that they are good at? And once you see that, then you encourage them. I didn't say make them. You encourage them to go after what they're good at. Because we should be about building a society today. And in our building our society today, we should be educating our young to be able to take over when you get old as my ass is.
Right.
I'm 69 years old. I don't know how much longer I'm going to be on this planet.
Yes, sir, we don't.
But it ain't important. You know why? Because it was also stated that Muhammad won his fight in Arabia with old men and young children.
Mm.
So we have to get our young people involved. But the only way they're going to get involved is that we are doing something. Is that we are building something that they can fight for and that they can prolong to a better state. The reason that I am telling you about how great and how good we are, that, my dear people, is a formula that was utilized in the Nation of Islam. I was a part of the Nation of Islam also. Elijah Muhammad didn't use drugs to get black men and women off of drugs. He used self-esteem. Tell them how great they are. There are scientists that say that if we could remember the pain that we endured in the womb of our mothers, it was enough. If we remembered it, it would kill us instantly. I say that to say the same thing about the pain that we endured as slaves.
Mm.
The pain that we endured as in Jim Crow. I was a part of Jim Crow.
Yes, sir. I was too.
I grew up in it. I'm walking down the street, a truckload of white hunkies riding on the back of a pickup truck with shotguns. They tried to run me over. I know about Jim Crow. Nobody has to tell me about it. But my question to you, to all of my beloved, and believe me, I love you with every ounce of my being. My beloved black people, tell me, how is that going to make you do anything right now?
Mm.
It's like going out there driving a car, looking in the rearview mirror. You're supposed to be going forward, but you're looking in the rearview mirror. What's going to happen? You're going to run into something and have an accident and maybe kill yourself or somebody else. Get into the now. Because if we get into the now, is that now all of these beloved brothers and sisters, the awake people, what are they doing? They're talking about each other.
Mm-hmm.
They in a context that I'm smarter than you. I said, no, fool, you're blind, man. You got a hold to the elephant. And you're trying to describe something, but you don't see the whole picture. I'm going to stop there because maybe people have questions. I mean, I would love to answer questions. Not that I'm all that smart, but I have experience. And if you are going to ever become anything in life as a people, you have to respect your older people. Mm. You have to respect the wisdom that they have. And I'm gonna tell you something else. Ain't nobody greater than anybody because they are Christian or Muslim or Hebrew or Moors, etc., etc., etc. You ain't better than nobody. And when you realize that you can honestly embrace your brothers and sisters, and you can see what it is that they have to teach you. When I talked to Brother Taalik about tonight, I said I really don't want to come over and do no lecture.
Mm-hmm.
I said I want to come on and answer questions. because I may have questions for you and you got questions for me. We can learn from each other that way, and we can all better ourselves. If there's one thing that I said tonight that you can take and benefit your life from, by all means, take it. I'm not the author of anything. And I go on the net and I watch all of you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that you are very, very, very privileged and special people. Brother Taalik, I'm going to stop here.
Okay, though.
If there are any questions about anything that I said, any questions about Black people at all, let's have a discussion.
Brother Taalik, are you there?
Yeah, I want to say this. Joining us tonight, Brother Omar, we have Brother Maurice Muhammad,
yes,
and
sir.
we have our wonderful sister Courtney Omega. She joined us, and on speakerphone we have Brother Talib is on the speakerphone.
It is my distinct honor to have all of you.
Yeah,
and I wanted to apologize. The last time that that there was a gathering, I wasn't aware of it because my computer was down. So I apologize to you all.
Okay. So we want to open up the floor for questions and answers, or just brief commentary. And everybody came in different. And Brother Muhammad was here before everybody else. But of course, y'all know I'm a all Black woman channel here. The sisters, always get top priority. If Sister Omega want to send a shout out or say something real quick, a question or a comment, I got to take my sisters go first. Sister Omega, are you there?
I am here and absolutely enjoying the conversation. Salute and hello everyone in the chat. I've been watching the stream and just listening and soaking up the knowledge. I do have a question. I'm going to pose it. I'm just going to drop my mic. You know how I do, brother. I'm going to drop my mic. I'm going to drop my mic after I drop this question. But let me just share. Much respect to the conversation that you just said, leading into this, Brother Omar, when you said we have to live in the now. Absolutely, in 100% agreement. I do want to just pose this question to my brothers, because this is, I want to be very honest. I'm very transparent with my approach. I don't leave anything convoluted to my my conversation. So my question is this: I'm a divorced woman of 8 years. I've been single and celibate for 6 years. Brothers, it has been really difficult for me, not even just to have not to have found someone in these years, but also just to even engage in these type of conversations with someone personally, physically. What I'm saying, it's easy for me to find brothers, in these type of atmospheres, which kind of online, virtual, digital, what have you. But I'm here in Atlanta, Georgia. I'm a former elected official. I just resigned from my position. I was the youngest councilwoman in Miami, Florida, Coconut Grove. And I moved back up here to Atlanta, Georgia. And it has been great as far as networking goes. But as far as, really finding that type of Malcolm and Betty type situation, I tell you, it's been really something else. And I'm sure you're both also aware, or not even just the both of you, but all of you are aware of what a challenged time we have right now when it does concern relationships between Black men and Black women. And I understand what media has done to influence it. I understand what's happening to encourage that division. But brothers, I just really want to know where are these brothers at? And, where are these brothers at? Where they hiding? How can I network and meet with them and just build with them? And another legacy-minded brother. I will say this. Like I said, networking wise, I'm finding them. But when it comes to brothers that are, like I said, I want that. You mentioned Otis Redding. He's one of my favorite. But I want, as the Temptation said, I want a love I can see. Come on. I want that. And I'm like, where is that? Where is that? So I'm just wondering, how can we start to engage in that conversation? Because as someone put so eloquently there earlier, without unification, there is no liberation. So I know that's what, Brother Khalid, you've said a number of times, and that has been the consistent tone of this conversation. But the unification starts there. Black man, Black woman. And, how can we start to have these conversations where, again, we're legacy minded, we are movement minded, and we are unification minded? So with that, I rest my mic. I thank you all again for just allowing me to be a part of this conversation. Thank you so much, brother, for the invite. And I'm going to listen. I'm putting myself on mute, but I am listening.
Okay. My suggestion always, to whether it's male or female, is I think Michael Jackson put it best. That man or woman in the mirror, fall in love with that person. Go in the bathroom, look at yourself in the mirror, and have a love fest. Fall in love with how great you are. I'm not talking about whether male or female. Is that this is the way I look at myself. And I was fortunately married for 37 years before my wife passed on. And I had I considered myself a diamond. And I said to myself this: you don't find anybody walking around with diamond, because there's a price to pay for diamond. Get to know you first. And then once you know you will attract to you that individual that is akin to you. I'm talking about a kindred spirit. The problem that most of us have is that we focus too much on the physical. We focus on what a man look like. We focus on what a woman look like, as opposed to getting in touch with that inward person. Like, right. I remember one time I was on the internet. I was communicating with a sister, and she asked me to send her a picture. I said, I'm not sending you no picture. You haven't earned my picture yet. I want to get to know you, your mind. I want to get to know your spirit. And once I do that, then you have earned to get my picture. In other words, I just won't accept anything. I'm an extremely picky person when it comes to a female counterpart. And my wife, God bless her soul, I asked her a question, right? Early on in our relationship, I asked her, I said, listen, I said, if you had the choice to choose between love and loyalty, which would you choose? My wife thought about it, and she said, I would choose loyalty. That told me something about her, because I understood that there are going to be times when you're going to love your mate, but there are going to also come times when you can't stand their guts. And the only thing that will keep you together would be your commitment of loyalty to one another. If you can't find anyone like that, because you know the old saying is love is a sensation that leads to temptation to increase the population of a future generation. Most of us don't know what love is. Most of us don't have an idea about choosing a mate. So I say my suggestion, and this is not to say, Sister Omega, that you haven't done this, but this is, you put a question out there, and I'm asking it to the best of my ability. Hopefully some of the other brothers would chime in, so that we all can learn something from each other. Is that get to know you, know your worth, know your value, and don't take no wooden nickels. I mean, I applaud you for your abstaining. Continue to abstain, because most of the guys out here ain't looking for but just one thing, and they will tell you everything that you want to hear to be able to get into your pants. And once they get into your pants, they off to the next conquer. And you got to be able to recognize that. A man told me, say, look, if you're looking for a good man, why are you in a bar? Why do you think you're in a bar in the first place? He is there to find something he can conquer. And once he get it, he's off to the next one. So my suggestion is to you take a look at where you're looking for men at. And I'm gonna tell you something. Atlanta is a hot spot. It is a hot spot. And to my understanding, it ranked like #1 in AIDS in the country.
Oh, I tell you, I don't look. I do what I thank you, and I do what Brother Muhammad Ali said. Treasures are found. Treasures made. I'm very, isolated. I have my children. I'm homeschooling them. Okay. I write curriculum for other programs, so I'm very hidden, and I don't go out looking. But it's just the fact that, like I can tell you, 5 years ago, I used to be able to bump into, whether I was at the gym or, it just seems like I was bump into people. But like, it's been in the past 2 years, it hasn't been that. It's been really interesting. It hasn't been that. It hasn't been that type of interaction. And even when I was on the dais, as a councilwoman, the other councilmen that I was meeting, we just weren't really on, the same page. But you're absolutely correct. You have to, love yourself first. And it is something that I teach. I have a daughter and a son, or as I like to call them a diamond and a son. And that's exactly what I tell them as well. The more that they know and love who they are, the easier it will be to appeal. But like I said, I take what Muhammad Ali said, a diamond don't have to go looking to be found. A diamond is a diamond. People go searching for it. And also what it says is that, a man who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. So, but I thank you. And I absolutely, I do know that, that's quintessential and that's key. And, I've had great conversations with my dad in this regard as well. I am blessed to still, have him on this earth that we can talk. But, it just seems like I said, I would be able to bump into guys a few years ago and, go get a cup of coffee or, go to the bookstore and share some conversation at least. Like, even if it didn't amount to, it didn't transition into some type of relationship. It was still good conversation. We still built, a nice rapport with one another. But these last few years have really been something else. I was just like, It's like God just totally, I said my husband must gonna be real mighty because God want to make sure ain't nobody touching me. I'm not getting any type of interaction with no other men. So it's been really something. I'm meeting some very quality sisters, though. I will tell you that. Some real great sisters, but a God ain't sending no men my way to have any type of conversation. So it's really, friends, definitely, brothers, very powerful brothers that are really committed to the movement. Very aware of the shift, like you said, brothers that are not sitting around talking about, oh, what are we going to do about this capital situation, but brothers that are committed to building our own militia. So it's been incredible in that regards. But yeah, the relationship talk has been really non-existent. So I'm gonna go back on silent again because I know we have some other topics to move on to. We don't have to call this up. This is not gonna be Courtney's reality love show. But I thank you so much. I do.
No, thank you.
All righty then. We want to pass the mic to our brother Maurice Muhammad. Brother Maurice, you there?
Yes, sir, dear brother. I'm here. Thank you.
Yes,
Before I ask our elder a question, I do want to give Sister Courtney what I think. First of all, I want to tell you that I'm very proud of you. I've been following you and listening to what you're saying in the background, and I'm happy to see and to come in to know who you are and what you are about. And I applaud you for doing the work that you do and living the life that you live.
Mm-hmm.
Know that you're special. You're very special, and raising your children that way, very special. For you to have the right kind of man, you have to be in that environment, right? So for like my organization, B1, we have classes where our men go to, and we're developing the women classes. We have training for our children to go up. You got the manhood training classes, because we know that in order for us to be successful, the family unit must be rebuilt and must be strong. And we do have single men in B1, and we definitely look for single women to join who know that they're ready to have a family unit. But you got to make sure everything is straight, because with us, the way we go, there's an imposed discipline that we all fall up under, because we know that this way is what's right for our people. In order for us to birth a new reality, we can go and take over a city, but if we go with the same nigger mindset or cracker mindset, producing nothing new. It's the same old thing, just in a black face. Right?
Yeah.
So we believe in that our minds have to be totally renewed, and it can't be renewed in the old way. It definitely have to be renewed, higher knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, and our ability to live it, not just talk it, not just teach it, but to live it. So, I would definitely, I know a few brothers that are single, but again, they're moving to Mississippi. So if you're interested in coming to Mississippi, I have a few brothers that I know would be definitely interested in having a good conversation with you. And to our elder, my question to you, dear brother, is we know that Allah says in the Quran that old men for counsel and young men for war. And when we move into Mississippi, that's war. There ain't no ifs, ands, and buts about it, because we're taking power. We ain't begging, we're taking it. So what advice could you give us as we prepare for battle? And that's my question to our elder.
I would suggest that we take a look at whether or not now is the time to deal with the battle mindset. You know, because when we're in battle, we're not really building, we're tearing down.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so I would suggest humbly that we work on building. You know, and then once we build, we only go in battle if someone tried to take that which we build. You know, as a former member of the Nation of Islam, I mean, we learned martial arts.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and but the focus was on defense. You know, and not on offense, because the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, he said to us, and this is something that he said at the end of every temple meeting. He said, we are not to be the aggressor. You know, is that in fact he really encouraged the FOI, don't even carry so much as a penknife.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because his focus was on building. You know, and what happens is that now we learned martial arts every Saturday, but the overall focus was on building. You know, and I mean, even our going into Mississippi, we want to go into Mississippi and build, and we will fight with no one unless they fight with us. You know, and I mean that I think that to answer your question, you know, I'm basically talking about from a focus point of view. Now I understand the concept of the mindset, the fact that, hey, look at is that our going out to reclaim our own or to build our own, that in itself is war. I suggest that it is not war. I suggest that that is a concept or a mindset of building. And because if we focus on building, we are going to be amazed at what we accomplish, because there is a different mindset for war and building. Because war, again, we are activating our reticular brain, the fight and flight. That's why the army or the military have generals and captains and things who aren't in the thick of the war to sit down and think and strategize on what to do and how to do and where to go, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. That is my suggestion. What do you think about that, Brother Muhammad?
Oh, he dropped.
Oh, he dropped?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, he dropped for some reason. I don't know.
Hopefully he heard.
Oh, there he is.
He heard you. He'll be back.
Here, he's
Okay.
back.
Okay. Can y'all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yes, sir. I understand. I understand what you're saying. But I'm more talking about when I say, you know, we're going to war, even because we got to run for office and we got to win.
Yeah.
And so, you know, what is the guidance? What kind of guidance that you can give? You know, a lot of it is sitting back and planning, and we've been doing that. We have a very aggressive 100-day, our first 100-day agenda.
Right.
But yet we know that there will be, traps or pitfalls because, we're going to go up against an enemy.
Okay, let me ask you this
So,
question.
mhm.
Okay, when are you planning on embarking upon this task?
I will be there. My family will be there in February.
February? Okay.
February, yes, that'll be our permanent residence in February. We're making that.
Okay, super. Now, I was listening one day to Alexander, what is it? Not Alexander, the Ocasio lady, the senator from New York.
Mm-hmm.
And she actually was, she did ran against an incumbent who was very, very powerful within the state of New York, and as a matter of fact, within the country itself. And she basically just went out there and hit the street. And then what she said is that they learned as they went. Because until you're out there, you're really not going to know what you're confronted with.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, I would say go out there, hit the street, get to know the people, introduce yourself to them, and go from there. Now, are you planning on, are you planning on joining a particular party? Are you running as an independent? Exactly how are you planning on doing that?
Yes, we're running as an independent. We have our own party, the B1 party.
Okay.
And so we're getting that registered in Mississippi, and we're going to push that out to other states as well. But yes, it's our own party, B1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I just understand that you have two existing machines already there. Okay, and people are already orientated in Republican and Democrat, and to run as an independent. Okay, the cards are really stacked against you. So what you might want to do is find out, can you find like minds in the existing parties that are there, and can you establish a rapport or relationship with them? It depends on how fast you want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now the town or the city that you're going to, what's the population there? You have any idea?
1,600.
1,600?
Yes, sir.
1,600?
Yes, sir. 1,600.
Okay.
That's our first city.
Okay, how many blacks are there?
There are 1,300 blacks.
Oh, okay. You shouldn't have no problem. Just go there. just go there and court.
Yeah.
Court the blacks. Because if they are, man, that's an overwhelming amount of black people in the city.
Mm-hmm.
So go in there. Now, what I would suggest is this: is when going in there, seeking to become a leader in that community, you can't go in there hardcore Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go in there worrying about people's moral, because you're not going to win them that way. You have to go in there and basically figure out how can you add to the betterment of their community.
Mm-hmm.
And you definitely, you cannot be Brother Muhammad because you are Brother Maurice Muhammad. But but Muslims are accepted in the community now. But what I would suggest you do is, I'm not gonna go in there because I'm not going in there to set up a religious institution. I'm going in there to deal in a political game, and you have to know how that game, what are the rules to that game, and how can you be most effective in getting your campaign across? Because the reality is your religious upbringing, your religious thing, that's your thing. Religion is a personal thing, you know. And then you have to like what they did, and what the Muslim community did in Africa is that they went in as businessmen, and they were able to convert those people over to their ideology because of the uniqueness of their business savvy. You know, so find you figure out what is it that I mean, let me not assume. What is your strategy in dealing with the people of that city?
Well, well, basically, our strategy is to come in there and, go door to door, getting to know them and letting them know exactly what B1 is and what our political and social platform is, and show how they live in a totally black town,
Uh-huh.
but yet they don't even have their own grocery store. They don't have, there's a lot of things they don't have, and they've been living like this since forever, and it's time for new leadership.
Oh.
They go complain about, we can't get this, we can't get this, we can't get that. Well, we want to come and show them exactly what real leadership is and take charge and just make it happen. Like I said, we have a very aggressive action plan for our first 100 days in office.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've said before, on day one, as an example, everybody in the police department going to lose their jobs because their mentality is not a black first mentality. So we will replace them with black first people. Now we'll also have an orientation so that they can come and learn what is black first, what is that mentality, what is that way. And it's not black first is not a religion.
Oh,
So we're not dealing with any religion. We're just dealing from what is right, what is moral, and what is just, and how do we, live productive lives. So we're taking power and really just turning it in a way that even for the white folks that do live in that city,
mm-hmm.
because I've been asked this question by a few of them when we were there before.
Right.
Does that mean because you coming in and you're going to bring your black first ideology, does that mean that my life is in danger? And my answer to them is no, it doesn't mean your life is in danger. It means by you living in this city, you're going to experience justice, true justice for the first time in your life. You're going to experience true freedom for the first time in your life. That's what it is. We are about living the principles that we believe in, living the principles that we teach. And with this way of life, we believe that given power, once you take power, now you have the power and the right to redirect education, to redirect the social order. And we plan on doing these things.
What I would suggest is that let me ask you this: Have you thought what it is that they want?
When we did a tour through Mississippi, and we visited over 10 cities and towns and talked to everybody and told them what we're bringing in. And everybody from the business leaders to the regular common everyday black man and woman on the street to the teenagers to our elders, they all agreed. And because what we based our platform off of, what are the things that we need to have in order to have a prosperous life? What
Yes,
is
sir.
the environment that we need to create? And so once we figured that out, we use that as a template because we all want freedom, justice, and equality. So since we all want these things, and everywhere that we went, letting them see this is what can happen. They were saying, well, use this city as your first city. Do this here first. Do this here first. And then we've had other cities that actually reached out and say, hey, I need you to come this way so, we can understand what you're bringing.
Right.
So it's something that all all of us need, you know, and it will be that proper environment where people will truly get to know one another and truly get to understand what it means to be, you know, somebody's neighbor. You know, as it says that it takes a village to raise a child, but it also takes a village to abuse a child. So, you know, we want to make sure that we be exactly who it is that we be. And, you know, we can make these things be more than just some words written on a paper. We
Right.
can bring it to life and make it an actual fact.
Okay. Um, and I say, I mean, it's seeing that you've done your research, you know, and I would suggest to move forward, see how it works, you know. And if you have to make adjustments, then make adjustments. Don't
Mm-hmm.
you know? Don't just I mean don't go in callous. It's going to be my way or the highway because it's going to probably be the highway. You know, you, you know. So that's what I would suggest. You know, is that don't go in too hard.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know, ease in. Get the people to get the people to know you and you know them,
Mm-hmm.
and bring about an eventual change. Because going down in Mississippi, uh, you're gonna find that I mean black people there. You know, I don't know what your dietary practices are. Okay, but they got their own way of doing things. You know, and you can I said go ahead on because hey, it's I would rather see you doing than see you sitting back waiting. You know, go ahead and get involved because what's going to happen is that when you go there and you really start, I mean, to sit down and have a conversation with somebody is one thing, you know, but to get them to pull that lever,
Hmm.
you know, is going to be a whole thing altogether. So you need to find out what is it that you have to do to get in. And then once you get in, you can start making the necessary changes that has to be made. But whatever you promise them, they've got to see that your word is bond.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yes, sir.
people don't care what you want. You know, they care about what it is what it is that they want. And if you can show them how to get what they want, they will love you. It's I mean when you're going into a community,
Hmm.
it's like getting involved with with a woman or with a wife.
Mm-hmm.
You got to court them.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, sir.
You know, I mean,
Hmm.
because if you go in there with a, I want this and I want that and I want this and I want they say who gives a fuck what you want? You know,
Hmm.
that's gonna be that will be their mindset. I mean, why are you there in front of them?
Hmm.
But when they go in into that voting booth, you're not in front of them. They don't have to say what they think you want to what you think what they think you want to hear. They're gonna pull a lever in their interest.
Yes, sir.
You know, so to I mean it's I said but go ahead and make that move because I'm gonna tell you starting out the prospects are darn good 1,300 as opposed to 300.
Yeah.
You know,
Hmm.
I mean, you got something going for you there. You know, but you gotta know it's you know what it's like sister Omega, she's looking for a husband, but she ain't gonna just accept anybody. You know,
Right.
if a guy come in her life and she say, oh, hey, look, hey, this guy's too overpowering, she's probably gonna take a step back, you know, and say,
Hmm.
okay, can we work something out here? To where that we both get some of what we want, because a good negotiation is never one individual getting everything they want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You know,
Yes, sir.
so that is my suggestion. But again, I mean, you got your thing already in motion. Make it happen. And now you said what part of Mississippi is that?
Coldwater, Mississippi.
Coldwater, okay. Because I'm right next door in Louisiana.
Okay. Okay.
You know, and I can come down there and assist in the kind of way I can.
Okay, perfect.
You know?
Well, we definitely can use you.
Yes, sir.
Definitely.
So I can give you my phone number.
Okay.
You know, in fact, it is 318. You got a pen?
Yes, sir.
I did send wife Muhammad. I sent his information to your email, brother Maurice. I don't know.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah, because wife Muhammad asked about him the first on Soul Liberation Day,
right?
And I asked him if it was all right for me to share his information with everybody. And I sent the information to everybody.
Okay.
So it's still an email. If not, I'll resend it to you, brother Muhammad.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, sir. Well, if you send it to wife, I'm quite sure she got it. So I'll just get it.
Anything I can do to assist, just I am willing and able. And
yes, sir.
Mississippi is just a skip and a hop away.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Elder. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
All right, we're gonna move on to our brother Talib. He had a question for the elder also. Brother Talib, you still there?
Yes, I am, brother.
Thanks for being patient and holding.
Yes, sir. Brother Omar, yes, sir. I'm glad to have been on this panel tonight to hear you speak. And my question is to you, brother, is what would your direct advice be to our younger generations right now coming behind us, knowing what you had to deal with during the Jim Crow segregation era, right? And what would your advice be to them as to how to deal with this current Caucasian population in this country today toward, the goal of taking separation very seriously?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because our people are unfortunately caught up in this, mystery fantasy that America is nothing like it was during the time that you came up in Jim Crow. So can you expand on that furthermore, brother?
Yes.
Especially with the possibility of children listening.
Well, my suggestion would always be to number one, this ain't our fight. You know, let these white people deal with white people. That's where their focus is. This ain't our fight. And when we realize that, we should be about building now, because what happened is your enemy's attention is elsewhere. I think I was talking to you. I said, look, hey, I would suggest that they all carry a little small American flag in their pocket. and if they pull that flag out and start hollering, hey, ups to America, up to the Constitution. That's where those people's head is. They're not worried about black people right now. Not even in the least little bit. As a matter of fact, there are black people that are working amongst them, because what they are pushing is the Constitution. That's what they're talking about. They may not be aware of the fact that the Constitution is a document that belongs to a corporation. I remember one time I was living in the city, and I own a property there, and they had the code inspectors that go around to people's houses and walk into their backyards and doing their inspection thing, you know. And they gave me a ticket, and I went to court, and I put together a document, you know, that hey, I was in the city of Plainfield, New Jersey, and my thing to the court and to those people were this: hey, look, I really don't care what the rules of Plainfield, New Jersey is. I'm not a part of that corporation. I said, it's just like me worrying about what happens in AT&T. AT&T is a corporation. The United States of America is a corporation. You know, and we have to realize that. If there is no nexus that ties me to you, I could care less what happened in your corporation. Those laws only is aimed at the people that are a part of that corporation. You know, and what I would say to the young people is that figure out what you want in life, what you want to do in life, and when you figure out what you want to do in life, pursue that, and don't be sidetracked. But I would also say to them, whatever it is that you get involved, that you pursue, make sure that there's a future in it. Because we have black people, man. We have, like I mentioned in the talk, we have degrees upon top of degrees upon top of degrees. But are they benefiting us? That meant that we went out and got a degree in a dying field. Find out where society is going, and then choose your degree or your scholarship in that, so that you'll have some type of future. You don't go to school, become thousands of dollars in debt, and get out of school and can't find a job, because that job is no longer relevant in society. So that's what I would tell the young people. You know, is that you should be sitting down thinking about your future today. And that's going to be something that their parents are going to have to do. You know, I mean, why would I go out there and get 50, 60, 70, 80, $100,000 in debt? And this kid ain't gonna be able to find a job when they finish school. You know, you got black people that go to school and they're taking up African American history. Tell me, please, how are you gonna take care of your family doing that? Because if a university don't hire you, you ain't got no work. But a whole lot of our people do that, just to say I've been to school, right? And another thing we have to realize is that society is making it harder and harder for people to get a basic education and really be able to take care of themselves, because the whole point is that, remember I was saying, is that you're either consuming or you're being consumed. We have to make sure that whatever direction that we take, we are putting ourselves in a power position. It's not enough, because I think that, like I said to Brother Taalik, I think that this idea, and now Brother Muhammad, is that the idea of moving to one of these southern states is a profound idea. Why is it so profound? Because it's cheaper. I bought my house and I pay $600, less than $600 a year in taxes. I paid cash for my house. And if I wanted to homestead, I'll be paying less than $300 a year in property taxes. When I lived in New Jersey, I was paying $8,000 a year in property tax. We need to get out of those. Well, listen, we're getting out of them one way or another because they're gentrifying everywhere. And they're just pushing blacks away, pushing us away. We're gonna end up down south whether we want to or not, because we can't afford it.
That's gonna be not to cut you off, brother, but that was gonna be my second question. So,
okay.
So my thing is that at this point, the only option we have is to migrate back to the south altogether, basically. At this point, because of the fact that, like you said, we're being gentrified and removed from different communities in other parts of the country. And then also, my question is, as far as the South being concerned, is that should we also, I know your answer may be yes in this question, but should we take over all the industries that our ancestors were used through free labor to build this country with?
Well,
like cotton, the sugar cane, should we take advantage of all that? Because, I mean, you know, at the end of the day, we made other people rich off of that. So, I mean, it's our turn to make ourselves economically stable off of that, to be able to take, while we're taking control politically of a state, where then we could flourish. And from there, my question would be, would it help us then to grow into a society of our own at that point?
Well, what we need to do, what I would suggest, is we need to do a thorough investigation on whether or not to get involved in cotton is feasible. To take a look and investigate whether to get involved in soybeans is feasible. Whether getting involved in corn is feasible. You know, I mean, it's one thing to get involved with it, but do you have a market? Can you establish a market for it? I think that Black people, we should definitely get into farming, because we need to feed ourselves. Because the bottom line, you can be the most ferocious revolutionary in the world. If you're hungry, what good are you? You know, so we have to make decisions like that. Is it feasible for us to do this? Now we do have, as Black people, already marketable markets for our talents. We have to figure how we can get control. Now, one of the things that Don King did in boxing, Don King tried to enter into boxing, and Bob Aaron and them guys blocked him out. So what Don King did was Don King went and got involved with the up and coming boxers. And that's how he built his boxing career. Business, rather, wasn't a career, business. And then he lucked up, and I mean, in other words, you find a niche. You find something, a niche that you can fit. That's just 101 business. Find a niche, fill that niche, and you make money. It's just that simple. You know, now when you talk about getting into the farming industry, we have to understand that the government is not pushing Americans to farm. In fact, they pay them not to. So we have to ask ourselves, other than feeding ourselves and supplying our own food as a people, how feasible is it? It might be feasible, it might not be. Now, I do know this, is that the living in New Jersey, they had the Pennsylvania Dutch people down in Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
These guys ride around every day in wagons, horse and wagons. But they have one of the most lucrative dairy business in the country. Find something where you can get a niche at and work it. But all of that takes investigation. We as Black people have to get away from making emotional decisions.
Mm-hmm.
We have to sit down like any scientist does and scientifically investigate and look into the feasibility of pursuing that particular thing. Like, we have many markets that we can take over. I mean, right now, man, who is the boss on the basketball court? Who is the boss on the football field? What's wrong with Black people starting their own football and basketball industry? We have all the talent. Well, then these people are used to getting paid millions of dollars a year. We have to work on that. I mean, it's not difficult to raise $1 million. Especially if you have groups of people. I mean, the people out there went out there in Georgia, and they bought what they bought, 96 acres. So that means that now that there are families coming together and they're building on that 96 acres. But they ain't just go out there and start building. They went down there and they began to do research. How are they going to establish their infrastructure? And they're setting all of that stuff up. Like I say, man, there is a price to pay for everything. And one of the number one prices to pay is we have to investigate. We have to create our own Black intelligentsia. And we have to study different people like they study us. And that's what I was suggesting to Brother Muhammad. Study that town. I mean, it's good that you got the population thing that you have there, but study that town. Find out what it is, and then you got to also look at whether or not who controls the sewage, who controls the water. Would it be better to go into that town with gas? Or should you have solar systems? There are all kind of things to consider. How you can make it better for the people that's there. Then get in touch with somebody with the solar. Hey, what would it cost to solarize the whole cotton picking town? And when you do that, now the people can pull together, and now they can buy their energy from you. Now you have created your own energy company.
Yes, sir. That's excellent right there. Most definitely.
You know, I mean, there's a lot to it, but it's doable. And when you got people with you, it becomes super doable. How many of those 1,300 people are employed? Do you need to find a way to get in touch with companies to be able to bring jobs there? That's got to be number one in any Black community. Until you're able to build your own jobs. I'm sorry, did I answer your question, brother?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most definitely, Elder. Thanks a lot.
All right.
I appreciate it. And one more thing I just wanted to say as a commentary is that I am grateful to hear that we have inspired Brother Maurice Muhammad to embark on the path that he is on right now to Mississippi.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that our ideal has inspired him.
Yeah.
And the fight is to take control of that whole state so that we could be once and for all liberated as a people.
Yeah, we should.
100 years of bondage, servitude. And thanks for everyone for listening to my question to our elder, and thanks, Elder, for answering my question.
Thank you.
And I'll pass the mic on.
Thank you for asking.
All righty then. Guess the mic comes back to me. Cause 2 hours and a half.
Oh, has been that long?
Done pretty good, pretty well. I want to just give my little 2 cents in real quick. Just 2 cents. Just 2 cents.
We'll all accept the penny. I'm just kidding.
Sister Omega, I guess she had to go. And I don't do male-female relationship that love stuff. I don't. I leave that up to you, brothers. I don't never even talk about it. I don't bring about it. My philosophy is you build a better human being, and that'll get better in and of itself. You don't have to worry about it too much. It'll all fall in place. You know, our problem right now is we just messed up human beings. You know, as far as, you know, we got a lot of demons. A lot of us are carrying some demons. A lot of us have been molested as children. A lot of us are ex-drug addicts still trying to handle that type of problem. We have temper problems. We can't handle temper. We have a lot of problems here. And then you talk about, I'm falling in love. You bringing all this stuff with you to the relationship. So, you know, build a better human being, and those things will begin to iron themselves out. I love the conversation, and a lot of the things that has been said is what Operation Exodus Mississippi, the Mississippi Initiative, all that, that's what it's all about. I remember, and I think I shared this with Brother Maurice when I first done it. I made the DVD, and I took it to the post office. And there's nothing but soul brothers and sisters in the post office. And I went to mail the DVD, return receipt, and pay for that. And the brother took the DVD, and just so happened he saw that I was sending it to Minister Louis Farrakhan. And he looked at me, looked at the package, looked at me. I'm like, what? You know, why is he doing that? He said, this is going to the minister? I said, yeah. And he's like, bro, I'm just curious. What is it? you know. So I'm like, and I explained to him that it's a DVD. I'm introducing to the minister this idea called the Mississippi Campaign. And I explained to him, and other brothers and sisters that was working at the post office came out and to listen to what I had to say and explain it. And they was fired up. They was like, man, I hope the minister get on board. This is a great idea. And it is a great idea if you really think about it. You were saying something to the effect, Brother Omar, find your niche. And then in a market. And I suggested that we specialize in organic food. We can grow a little corn, a little wheat, whatever, but we want to specialize in organic food. There's a big market. Folks want this organic stuff. So all around the world, not just in America, but around the world. And you feed yourself, your people good food, plus you're able to make a living off of it. Because you need people to be the farmers. You're going to need people to keep the records. You're making jobs for your people.
Right.
Also, the Mississippi campaign, the way it's set up, it's not just an adult thing. You want to focus on the farming or anything. You want to be able to bring our little children. I was telling people, bring your little babies and they can barely walk. Put a seed in their hand. Take a picture of them putting the seed in the ground. So in the future, when they get old and we might be dead and gone, whoever, you can tell that child, you helped make Mississippi. You helped us take control of the South when you was putting that seed in the ground when you was a baby. You helped us become the great nation that we become. But that's all down. We who live today, we are the ones to put the seed in the ground. We're the ones to plow. We probably won't be around to see the corn when it comes up, things of this nature. You shouldn't even have to worry about that. That's our job. And then you guide the future generations to tell them, if you want to keep this is how you maintain, and this is how you keep, and this is how you grow, this is how you evolve. So, and you was talking about how unique we are as a people. That's why I don't understand. When I choose to call us soul brothers and sisters, and you come from the same place, because I'm pretty sure, Brother Omar, you grew up in the same type of atmosphere, because I grew up when we were soul brothers and sisters. You remember we used to give that dap, that little dap thing and the different shaking the hand. And when I was a little boy, a grown man would come to me off the street and he said, "Hey, little brother, give me 5 on the black hand side in the hole. You got soul." You remember them that's ours. That's our uniqueness. You ain't gonna find that nowhere else. I want mine. I don't mind being an African. I don't mind being a Hebrew Israelite. I don't mind being none of that stuff, but I want mine. I want something unique to me. That's just mine. Nobody else can claim it. I don't want to share. I'm greedy when it comes to this. I'm greedy. I don't want to share it with you. So when they get that organic food and we put our label on it, whatever, they say it's got to come from Mississippi. This got to come from Alabama. This got to come from, because our stuff gonna be good. That's what we're known for. Growing good organic food, organic milk, organic beef, organic chicken. And hey, they still eat pork. Hey, they'll eat pork. I don't eat pork, but hey, our people still eat it. But it's a slow process of things. And see, just like you were saying earlier, Brother Omar, it's an easing, slowly evolving people into different things. You're not forcing nothing on nobody. You let them make the decision. Because I had a girlfriend. I was a Muslim and she was a Christian. And I told her how I felt about pork. And no big deal. She was eating her pork. I was eating my whatever I was eating. But one day, out of the blue, I came home and because we was living together, I came home and looked in the refrigerator. All the pork was gone. I'm like, what? I'm like, which I'm happy about it, but I'm like, all the pork is gone. And she said, don't you think you caused me to do that? I did it on my own. I said, I didn't say nothing. I didn't even, it was all, I'm happy, really about the whole deal. But see, let people do things on their own accord. We got this thing about trying to force things on somebody. And you shouldn't want to do that, because when you force things on somebody, it's not real. They're doing it out of fear. They're doing it because they got bullied. They're not doing it out of the sincerity of their heart. And that's what I'm looking for. Because when people do these things, they're not doing it because, oh, God is going to punish me and because you're going to shoot me in the face. No, they're doing it because this is what I think is good for me, what benefits me. They're not being forced, because I know I don't want to be forced to do nothing. I'm sick of that. We've been forced to do things for over 300 years. I'm sick of people forcing stuff on me. Oh, you got to do this and you got to do that. You better. Well, just kill me and get it over with. I'm tired of people bullying me around and trying to tell me what to do. I need to believe this. I need to do that. I'd rather be dead. I'd rather be dead. I'm not, you should be sick of somebody trying to bully you and forcing you and using fear tactics and things of this nature to tell you what to do. Look, we're supposed to be free. I don't need no more slave masters. I had enough of the peckerwood. I don't need you to be my slave master. I'm not doing that. But on that note, like Cara Burnett used to say on her show, what's that little song she said? I enjoy our little time together. Just to sing around, that little song. Thank you, Brother Maurice. I would definitely, I'm looking forward to being on your program Tuesday and joining you brothers and sisters on your program Tuesday. I thank you so much, Sister Omega, for joining us, and of course, and Brother Talib on the speakerphone. Unfortunately, Sister Noble couldn't make it tonight. And matter of fact, let me share her book information with us before we get out of here. Share that. I'm so happy for those who have supported our Sister Noble. Her book called God is on Trial, How Religion Keeps Humanity Under Mind Control and Fear. So once again, I thank Brother Maurice for joining us tonight, and Sister Omega Courtney, and of course our special guest. And hopefully he'll come back and give us a little bit of something. I think tonight was really, really nice. I really enjoyed it. Really, really good. So Brother Omar, you come on back and do your thing again. Matter of fact, we can make this a weekly thing. Every Wednesday we could do it if you want to.
It's all right with me.
Yeah.
But I would also like to, if you can send me the information how I can tie in with Brother Muhammad's program you say on Tuesday.
Yeah.
If it's open, I don't know.
I will send Brother Maurice your information. I'll send it again, and then he can contact you because he'll have your email address, your telephone number, and all that type of good stuff.
Yeah, feel free to call me on the phone. I'm open to that's why I was going to give it out on air. I don't care.
Yeah. But I send it to Brother Maurice already. I just resend it.
Okay, that'll work.
And he'll be looking for it. And I even put it in your Facebook too, Brother Maurice.
Okay, perfect.
So you brothers can connect. On that note, I thank everybody in the chat room, my deacons. My deacons of reality in the chat room, always here with us. Thank you for joining us. Those who are listening and those who will listen later on. And of course, shout out to my Facebook audience. Actually, I get more views on Facebook, really, when I share and do my thing on Facebook. But anyway, YouTube is all good, too. Until next time, I'm Angel Snubbing Up 7. And as Don Cornelius used to always say as in parting, I wish us love, peace, and so we out. We already 5,000. Where's my little button thing here so we can get out?
Yeah, that was a good panel there.
Yeah, that was a good panel.
Yeah, that was definitely a good panel. And we can move on from there.